What's going on, Australia? This is your boy Amadeus, multi-platinum bad boy, Hitman producer, CEO of Platinum Boy Music, and also Trey Songz, music director and drummer. We're here right now, live in the city. I'm not going to tell you where I am, because I don't, I'm going to try to show up where I am. But we're here live. We shut down Superfest this week with Trey Songz, and I'm here with my man Dominique. You know, we're going to talk about what we need to talk about, and here. It's been amazing. You know, it's my first time ever experiencing Superfest. I've always heard about it. I always heard how monumental it was, and just glad to be a part of it this year. Great turnout, thousands of people. I mean, if I had to say a number of what I thought it was, I would have to say about 40,000, 50,000 people showed up. You know, so man, crazy. The last time we experienced something like that was for a festival called Essence Festival in New Orleans, where it's like we perform at the arena where New Orleans Saints play. It's a really big arena. And Summer Jam in New York, High 97 Summer Jam. That's where the New York Giants, which happens to be my team, my favorite team, the New York Giants. We won the Super Bowl. Clap. Clap. I don't hear you clapping. So shout out to the New York Giants. But it was an amazing experience. And I'm glad you asked, man. It's a great group. You know, most times, you know, artists, you know, people in general are very competitive. You know, but it's a lot of love. You know, a lot of the artists. You know, as I look to the side of the stage that I'm on, you know, T-Pain was there, kind of watching the show. Naughty by Nature was there watching the show. Kelly Rowland was there watching the show, and it wasn't like they was just watching. Just, you know, they were into the songs. They were singing songs. They were dancing. So it's really a great group of artists. Lupe, I forgot Lupe was watching, and he happened to come out with us and perform. You know, so it's amazing, man. It's a great group of people, like I said, great talent, great people, great show, great people here in Australia for us to perform in front of. So amazing experience. As a music director, it's my job to basically take Trey's vision in regards to what he wants to do show-wise and bring it into fruition. And that's everything from you know, which songs we perform. It's my job to hire and select band members. I work hand in hand with production, lighting, and sound, you know, in regards to making sure it's all right. So it's, you know, it's a lot to it. I have a microphone. A lot of people don't know this, but I have a microphone, and I kind of call out all the cues to the band. I call out cues to Trey, let him know when he comes in, when he's leaving, which song is next. Because as an artist, there's a lot on him. You know, it's pressure. It's remembering your own songs, the ability to deliver the best show ever. So I remind him of everything as much as possible. So it's fun. And then, you know, besides that, I'm the drummer, so it's like 2 for 1. I'm doing all of that, but still playing the drums. I can't even tell you how I do it, but I do it. You know, at first, you know, and it's a funny story, I thought I was going to be a rapper, kind of, you know, being a hip-hop rapper thing, and kind of really wasn't working, and I already was a musician as a drummer, and a friend of mine was like, hey, why don't you kind of, you know, get into the music business, but be more behind the scenes. And I was like, okay, well, what would I do? I'm not really into management, I'm not really into, you know, other things, I'm into music, so why don't you be a producer? What does that consist of? And it was like, well, that's actually creating the song and creating the beat that the actual artist, you know, rap or sing to. And I was like, wow, from scratch. It's a pretty challenging task. But I attempted it one day and was like, okay, this is what it is. And kind of just stuck with it and continued to do it night after night, day after day. And it became a passion. And I decided that I wanted to go, you know, full speed ahead and said, you know, I'm going to become a producer. And not too far, you know, not too long after that, maybe about 2 years after really going forward, I got my first placement on Nucci Rayo, a hip-hop artist that was signed to MCA Records at the time by Don Poole, who managed the Notorious B.I.G. and Foxy Brown at the time. And got the phone call, went in the studio, created a song, met Manny Haley, who was Keisha Cole's manager at that time, I'm talking about years ago. Met Diddy Angeletti, who was one of the original Bad Boy Hitman producers. And just kind of connected the dots and stayed in contact and just, kept trying to get my music out. The song never officially came out, but it was my first placement. So in regards to a song that was released, I would have to say Foxy Brown song titled Cradle to the Grave, which is actually the title track to the movie and the soundtrack by DMX and Jet Li. And first placement, the song was featured in the film. So I heard the song, played in the movie, which is monumental. I saw my name roll in the credits, at the end. It was featured on the soundtrack. The soundtrack went gold, selling over 500,000 copies. So I got my first gold plaque on the wall from that. So it was a monumental moment to be my first official placement. So I'll never forget that moment. You know what, I always was kind of in the family to an extent. Like I said, Diddy Angeletti was one of my mentors, and he was a part of the Bad Boy team. Buck Wow was another one of my mentors. He was a part of the Bad Boy team. So I always kind of was in. I was always around Bad Boy. I got called one day to go in and produce some records with Heavy D. Rest in peace to Heavy D. And he worked out at Daddy's house, so I was always in the cipher of things. Created a great relationship with Hard Pierre back then, and Conrad, who was the A&R back then. So they pretty much always had their eye on me. Not to really sign me, but just respected what I did as a producer. And once I, placed on Sherry Dennis' album, and Danny DeCane, and Donnie Klang, that kind of brought awareness to me as a producer. And at that moment, I was kind of looking for a new management situation. And we sat down, went to the drawing board, and came up with something that worked with everybody. And here we are today. Amadeus, Bad Boy Hitman producer. He's amazing at what he does. He's a perfectionist, very well accomplished, someone that I look up to, someone that I respect, someone that I admire, and I learned a lot from him. He allowed me to be a part of his show, making his band on MTV, and it had everything to do with helping him put together his band for his album, Last Train to Paris. So I was around him a lot with that, in the studio as he created that album, and just to watch him work and just to watch his process and how he thought as an artist and as a producer was an amazing experience, something that I'll never forget. And I just try to take it all in. There's always knowledge, there's always wisdom, when you're around him, and like I said, I just try to take as much as I can take and run with it. But all of my experiences have been great. Definitely a very motivating individual. Has a lot of personality, very funny. A lot of people don't know that about him. You always think about that dude that's always screaming or barking or being very serious, but he has humor. And I get to experience that as well. So I'm just happy to be a part of the team. Very disappointed. I kind of heard the day before we left, and I actually called them, when I got out here and performed the first two shows, and just letting them know how it was going, and that people definitely was asking about him, and people definitely miss his presence. I definitely miss his presence, and we were looking forward to them Bad Boy Diddy Australian parties that would have been happening. You know what I mean? So there's always next time. So hopefully next year they'll bring them down and bring us back down, and it'll be one major affair, because there's no party like a Diddy party, and I was definitely prepared for that. But everything happens for a reason. He's doing what he's doing. Everything is great on his end, and what I'm doing down here, I'm holding it down for myself, Platinum Boy, Bad Boy, and Team Songz. I did a song with Tyga and Chris Brown titled Wonder Woman, and it's funny because the song was released. Unfortunately, I didn't know about it. I was actually on tour with Trey Songz, so I didn't really have my ear to the streets. It was featured on his mixtape, what's the name of the mixtape? I forgot the name of the mixtape, but it was featured on the mixtape. And I found out about it kind of like 6 months after it was released. And I mean, there was a huge following for it. They shot a video to it. It had over 14 million views. And as a businessman, you know, I just kind of like thought about it, and I reached out to their management and wanted to figure out a solution of how I can be, you know, properly compensated or taken care of, you know, for that particular record, because I wasn't paid for anything. But I didn't jump the gun. I kind of thought about it and said, well, you know, listen, the song is old, it's a smash, people love it. You know, I'm not trying to rock the boat. I would love to work with Chris. I would love to continue to work with Tiger. You know, how can we make this right? So I reached out to management and said, hey, listen, shout me out on Twitter saying that, you know, I'm the producer of that song. I'm cool. And, you know, Diddy tweeted it. Chris Brown tweeted it. Tiger tweeted it. And, you know, there was, you know, basically bringing awareness to the fact that I was the producer. And at the end of the day, you know, money runs out. But awareness and you know, recognizing my work and my name, attaching my name to it will last forever. So I did that, and I created a relationship with Chris and I, and got a call that he was writing some songs for Brandy, sent some tracks. Got another call in 2 weeks saying, hey, you know, Chris wrote 20 tracks. You know, it's not going to be on this album. And I was like, man. And he's like, but it's going to be on Justin Bieber's Christmas album. And I'll never forget, I was in a car wash, I was by myself, I was on the phone, I was going through, soap was on the car, and I just put the phone down and said, hold on a minute. And just screamed like to the top of my lungs. I called my wife, I said, baby, you're not going to believe this. And, you know, I kept my mouth shut about it. I didn't want to jinx it. I waited till about a week before the album was going to come out. When I knew the song was on the album, it was mixed, the track listing is out, and I gave an announcement, and you know, the album came out and it was amazing. My family loved it, my son loved it, sung it every day for a month, and it sold over 2 million worldwide in about a month. Yep, so I got my gold plaque, about to order my platinum plaque, and waiting on custom plaque for the 2-time platinum for that. So that was a great experience, man. Great experience. Great question. Jay Brown, I'm actually signed to a publishing deal with him now with BMG. But he actually connected me with the A&R person, Universal out in Italy, and we kind of connected. I sent some music out. You know, it was kind of like not sure what to send because I wasn't familiar with their music. But it's kind of like us, same thing, hip hop, you know, up tempo, southern style type tracks, dance type tracks. So just sent them what I had, and I mean, his team loved it, and you know, I produced on 2 of his albums. Both of them went platinum. Just happy to be a part and my name to be out in Italy and known for creating great music with him. So amazing, and it's good work, man. Good work looking that up right there. Yeah, I never ever been asked about, you know, the work I've done with him. So I'm grateful that you asked about it. Man, you know, still in Sydney as we speak. I actually leave tomorrow to head to Melbourne, and then for the show, for the Superfest show, and then we do the last show in Perth on Sunday. But it's been amazing, man. It's been amazing. Glad to be here. Glad to be here with my brother, Dominique. We've been in contact for years, and he's been a huge supporter of myself, Platinum Boy Music, before a lot of this even came about. I wasn't even on tour, you know, when we met. He interviewed me for Rhyme and Reason magazine. I wasn't with Bad Boy, you know, it was just me, you know, making music, and he supported me, and I appreciate it. Glad we had the opportunity to meet here. Glad to do the interview with him, and definitely gonna be sad to leave because, like I said, a lot of fun. You know, a lot of connections were made here. A lot of great networking opportunities were built here for me. Great people who love what I do and love what we do. Trey Songz and the music. So love y'all, man. Definitely love y'all. Appreciate all the love that was given to me. We'll definitely be back. You know, I'm not gonna wait till Superfest to come back. Hopefully, you know, I'll be back to do some drum clinics down here for the musicians and do some more interviews and host some clubs. Just come down here and be a part of the family. Now, will you welcome me? Will you welcome me? Thank you, Will. You know what I mean? So, look forward to seeing me soon. Definitely.